Kia ora, and welcome to the Beer Jerk Beer of the Week Drink Along. He's Joe.
And he's Luke.
And this week we're drinking another beer from Sunshine, which is Dunkelweizen. We had a delightful rice lager from Sunshine last week, and this is another classic historic style with a history that goes back far further than the history of rice lager, in fact.
You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Many hundreds of years to Germany. I don't know if you know this, but I'm a big fan of German beer styles. Oh, nice pour there.
Yeah, learnt it in Germany.
So with different kinds of wheat beer, cheers.
Cheers.
One of the defining characteristics is that they have a lovely, long-lasting head. And in fact, if you're drinking a beer with a German person and the head dissipates and there's no head left, they'll just stop drinking the beer and go and get a fresh beer, because for them the beer is dead when it has no head. And there's a lot of truth in it, right? You know, the aroma comes from the head.
Yeah.
Big part of the experience.
Yeah, the head helps to protect the aroma and all of that.
And the head tastes different to the liquid. If you drink beer foam, it's bitterer and it tastes different to the actual liquid.
Bitterer.
More bitter. So we chatted a little bit about Sunshine last week, being the first brewery in New Zealand to see the sun each day, and also possibly the oldest independent craft brewery in New Zealand.
Yeah, just one of the first, if not the first, sort of independent brewery here.
Well, I rarely do research ahead of these, but I was like, I'll just remind myself of the dates. So it was 1981 that Max started. Obviously, they got sold many, many years ago. And it was in 1989 that Sunshine and also Mike's in Taranaki kicked off. So yeah, Mike's sort of got sold a while ago, and Mike's does not exist anymore as a brewery. It is a venue in Taranaki, but yeah, Ron stopped brewing beer quite a while ago. So yeah, by that criteria, it would be the longest still existing independent craft brewery since 1989, and they kicked off with Gisborne Gold, which
yeah, iconic beer, isn't it?
You ever drank Gisborne Gold?
I have.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a pretty well-priced 12-pack as a competitor to Steinlager and those kind of beers. Gisborne Green, quite delicious Pilsner.
Yeah.
I think they're launching Gisborne Black soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trend going on around the world, isn't it? To take on Guinness with the boom in popularity that's had.
It's incredible to see in Britain. Anspach and Hobday and
it's like
Brewdog and...
Yeah, everyone who ever said, ooh, beer, is now living in London drinking Guinness, it feels like.
Yeah, massive thing, yeah. All down to that Facebook page.
Well, or TikTok, that's where I see it.
Maybe TikTok, yeah. I don't have a TikTok, way too old for that. Yeah, Gisborne Gold and I suppose Max Gold would have been key important beers in the early 90s to really sort of kick things off as a change from the duopoly of Lion and DB and people being, Spates drinkers and Lion drinkers. So it's happened slowly and steadily until we're here now. So yeah, Sunshine does have new owners than those original founders, but staying true to the origins of those core beers and brewing more interesting stuff, which is stuff that I'm more interested and excited in drinking. I'm not really bothered about drinking big volumes of beers every day.
No.
1 or 2 beers a day is fine for me, but something that is a bit remarkable.
Yeah.
So anyway, onto the beer, a Dunkelweizen. What are you tasting, Joe?
It's lovely, isn't it? A lot of sort of burnt kind of toffee, dark sort of chocolate, and a lot of spice in there as well.
Yeah.
Sort of rye bread character.
And you're getting from the yeast, a big yeast character in all wheat beers. But yeah, like some phenols of...
Yeah, sort of main kind of phenol is very clovey.
Yep, totally clove.
Banana esters in there, which are very classic for German wheat beer. Sort of could use that descriptor pretty much every time you drink a wheat beer.
And that is it. So I suppose wheat beer is a whole family of styles. So you've got things like, we spoke last week about Bière de Garde, Saison. New England IPAs contain a lot of wheat often. There's Goza, which is a wheat-based beer. Berliner Weisse is made with a lot of wheat, but But these Weissbier styles, it is the Weissbier yeast contributing big banana, which I guess is a kind of love it or hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's lovely. It's got such a nice mouthfeel as well. I wonder if that's classic of the style for the yeast to produce sort of, I think it's glycerol or glycerin. I've definitely heard that talked about before.
Sounds technical.
But yeah, it's lovely, sort of coats your mouth nicely. It's just a great experience. Sort of dark beer vibes without that heavy kind of stout and a huge ABV attached to it. Just a nice kind of dessert experience without 10% putting you to sleep.
And it is smashable. This, again, these styles are classic for a reason. They've been brewing this for hundreds of years, because I could drink many steins of this. I could drink it every day.
It could be a breakfast beer with pancakes.
Perhaps, yeah.
Lunch beer.
But on that, I suppose bananas, and just with the caramel character of the malt, a lot of the mouthfeel is obviously coming from the wheat. So the grist in wheat beers generally would be 50% plus wheat, which has a lot of body. But yeah, and possibly the yeast doing something with glycerol production. But yeah, kind of banana bread.
Yeah,
vibes.
definitely.
I love brown beers
without the butter.
yeah. Very, very luckily there are not butterscotch off flavors in this beer. It is well brewed, well executed, well packaged.
Yeah, it's delicious.
These Dunkelweizen's dark wheat beers would hail from Bavaria. I don't think it's really known when the first dark wheat beers would have been brewed, but probably 800-900 years ago. You've got Weihenstephaner, which is just a shade under 1,000 years old, and it was in the 1500s where the German purity laws came into play, the Reinheitsgebot. And they came about due to wheat being valuable, and the governments wanting to ensure that commoners and working people had enough wheat to bake bread with, and it wasn't all being used in beer. So that's why the main dictation that beer could only be made with malted barley and nothing else, unless you were a noble. So this was a lovely little money spinner for the rich folks that only nobles were allowed to brew wheat beers, because I suppose they know better than the commoners, and they could have a nice little income.
Yeah, they can be trusted, right?
They can be exactly. Yeah,
yeah. Those rich people, give them all the assets.
Yeah.
Because we can trust them to do right.
Well, it trickles down. So have faith, Joe. We're going to be fine. It's going to trickle down. Right, we won't get too political. Until the 1800s, and Georg Schneider I. You'll probably know about Schneiderweiser. So it was Georg Schneider who was the first commoner to be able to buy a license to produce wheat beer, and it was just because wheat beer was pretty unfashionable at the time. It was because everyone was drinking pilsners and lagers, and not many people were even into wheat beers. It was just a historic, old-fashioned, boring thing. So he managed to get the license, and that's when it kind of broke. That normal people, like the brewers at Sunshine, are legally allowed to brew wheat beers. Well, I'm sure that Bavarian law probably wouldn't have much sway here in New Zealand anyway, even if it still was.
I doubt it.
Yeah, just do what you want.
Yeah. Especially in Gisborne.
Yeah, just laws into themselves. Big character from lots of levels. You're getting the malt, you're getting the yeast character. You're pretty low bitterness. Hops aren't playing much of a role in this beer.
Yeah, it's sort of all about those phenols and the esters, the yeast.
Yeah.
Creating that lovely sort of desserty character.
Yeah, bloody lovely. We should maybe get some on tap. I want to be drinking more of this.
Yeah.
More Dunkelweizen. And what else do I have to say? Food pairings. So, German beer hall food.
Yeah.
It's been perfected, right?
Yeah, a lot of Wurst. Maybe like some roast chicken or something. We're in New Zealand.
Oh, yeah.
Add a bit of character to a meal like that.
Bratwurst, mashed potato, bit of mustard, bit of sauerkraut, bit of acid in there, and probably banana bread, right?
Yeah, have it with some banana bread. Compare, contrast.
Yeah, because of course it's the same. It's the yeast that provides this banana character, and it's the yeast that provides the flavour and aroma in actual bananas. So it's the same chemical compound. And yeah, I always love the idea that the first person to eat bananas in Bavaria and it would have been probably the late 1800s that bananas were sort of turned up in Europe from the New World. And yeah, just the first time someone eats a banana, say, oh my God, this
tastes like a Hefeweizen.
Tastes like a Hefeweizen, yeah. Golly, yeah. It's the most popular fruit for a reason. Delicious.
Amazing.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if Dunkelweizens became more popular than hazy pale ales?
Your definition of cool, but yeah.
Imagine like a dystopian future where just everyone's like smashing Dunkels all the time.
Yeah.
And, like you get a countdown and there's like 50 Dunkels on the
like
shelf.
More than Guinness.
Yeah.
All the girls who made fun of me for drinking Penhead Supercharger at parties.
Yeah.
Are just in London now drinking Dunkelweizen.
That's a trend I can get behind. All right. Any other news to share?
News to share? No.
No, not really.
No.
Yeah. I've only really got sad news to talk about, brewery closures, which I don't really want to talk about and kill the vibe while you're enjoying this delightful beer. So thank you, Sunshine, for making some great beer. Thank you for joining us. And hopefully we won't see any more breweries liquidating and folding anytime soon.
Hopefully not.
And we won't see Beer Jerk liquidating and folding anytime soon.
Hopefully not.
Go to Beer Jerk and put an order in if you don't want that to happen.
Save my job.
Cheers, Joe.
Cheers.